Welcome to Craig Walker Coaching. My name is Craig Walker, and I help people break free from the paralysis of self-doubt to live the life that they were born to love. Well, my teaching, it's Christ-centered. It's biblically based, it's backed by science, and it's supported by those who've tried it and they've experienced radical transformation. Now, if you're not a believer, you need to hear me say this. That's okay. Because I think when you discover how much God believes in you, you will have no problem believing in Him. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you like what you hear. If you do, please hit the like button. Click the bell to make sure that YouTube notifies you each time a new video is posted. Also, don't forget to leave your questions and your comments down below. Well, today I'm giving you part one of a two-part talk, how not to lose it when plans fail. Yeah, today I'm going to give you a quick story to set up the help that I'm going to give you. Here it is. Has this ever happened to you? You work hard to start your day with a really good plan, but then nothing goes according to your plan. You tell yourself, well, tomorrow will be a better day. And then tomorrow it's even worse. How do you keep from getting angry when your plans fail? How do you restore peace and joy when your blood pressure is high enough to blow the cuff off your sigma manometer? You know, whether you're one of those who turn your anger inward and you implode, you go silent, sink into depression, or you're one of those who turn your anger outward, you explode, you say the meanest, most hurtful thing that you can imagine, or you physically break things. There's hope for you. Yeah, believe it or not, you don't have to lose it. And even if you do lose it on occasion, and I think probably we all do, you can get back your peace and joy before you blow the cuff off your blood pressure machine. What do you do when you have one of those terrible, horrible, no good, very bad days, or maybe a few of those in a row? And believe me, I know a thing or two about dealing with anger. I do. There's this one thing that I've learned, that if you do this one thing, peace and joy will be restored to you so fast, it will absolutely shock you. It will. This is my story. This is one of those occasions where I lost it. Now, many of you know that Debbie and I are building a new home. Being honest, mostly I'm building a new home. She has her role, which is hard in itself, but mine requires me to strap on a tool belt, daily pick up a hammer and saw, along with all the planning and scheduling that goes along with it. Now, we're just getting started. So the pressure of managing the day job of writing, coaching, while planning and organizing and doing the build, it's just ramping up. Last week, we poured the concrete foundation. I had a good plan to be ready the day before the pour. I would start my day writing script, edit, shoot a short video. Then I was going to go outside and do my part to make sure I was ready for the concrete pour. Well, one very big project that was on my to-do list was making and installing templates to set anchor bolts for 17 steel columns. We're building a metal barn dominium, okay? Setting the anchor bolts, this is kind of like precision work. If they're not in place, the columns can't be put in place. We're putting this in concrete. So I was anxious, but in a good way. I really wanted to do it and kind of show off. I envisioned after the foundation was finished and ready to begin the build, everyone is standing around watching. This is, again, my imagination. When the first column was set into place and it lined up perfectly, in amazement, people were muttering under their breath, "Whoa, way to go. Great work, Craig. Did you do that by yourself? I can't believe it. Everything fits so perfectly." I was so proud of myself, and I hadn't even done any of the work yet, okay? Well, the following morning, I had a slight change in plans. I realized that I wanted to make sure I got everything done before I lost my light, so I changed and did my outside work first. I also added in installing a couple of frost-free water hydrants before I worked on the templates. That way I'd make sure that it got a couple of wins to start off my day. Not a bad plan. Well, with the hydrants now in place, it's about noon, I went to work on the templates, and after cutting out all the templates and marking all the holes, I thought, you know what, I better go and call the stores to make sure that they've got the anchor bolts in stock before it gets too late. So this is where I realized my plan was falling apart. After a couple of hours of searching, I realized there's no bolts to be found. In normal times, all the big box stores, build stores, do-it-yourself stores would have plenty of these in stock. But in these days, there's none. I was going to have to order them, which meant effectively plan A, it's now shot to pieces. It's dead. So rather than pouring the concrete with anchor bolts perfectly set in place, I would have to let the concrete guys come pour the slab. Afterwards, after the concrete had cured, I would drill out the holes in place, and I would use wedge-type concrete bolts. And so my vision of everyone muttering amazement, it had vanished like the setting sun. Okay, gone. It was getting dark. So now, in defeat and frustrated, I walked back toward the trailer and said, well, at least I've got time to do a little writing, editing, and shoot the video. Just before stepping inside the trailer, okay? This is one of those terrible, horrible, no good, really bad days. Stepping back inside the trailer, I heard this faint sound, like spewing, like water spraying underground. One of my freshly installed water hydrants was leaking underground. Oh, no, I thought. Actually, that's what I muttered. Grabbing a shovel, I dug up the water hydrant where the water was spraying out the weep hole that makes the water hydrant frost-free. I knew that extra parts came with the hydrant, so I didn't really worry about it. I knew I could fix it. I just didn't want to take time to fix it. I was already tired. So walking into the trailer, I looked for the extra parts that came in the box that, well, I knew they were there, and I'd laid them on the cabinet, but I couldn't find them. So, Debbie, I said, and she answered. And I said, did you move the parts that I placed on the cabinet? And she responded, oh, yeah, you said they were trash, so I threw them away. I corrected. Oh, I didn't say they were trash. I said they were extra parts. To which she replied, no, you said they were trash. Well, to be truthful at that point, I didn't want to argue. I just wanted the parts. So I took the trash can, dumped it out on the floor, searched through it frantically for my spare parts, but they weren't there. So I asked again, honey, where did you put them? Where'd you put the parts? And she said, I told you, I put them in the trash. I carried the trash out to the road, and the people came and hauled off the trash today. They're gone. Oh no, it just got much, much worse. I knew I was too frustrated and tired to write, to edit, shoot video. I realized my entire day was now a bust. And by the way, I was ready to argue. So this is me. I looked at Debbie. I said, I did not say they were trash, okay? I said they were extra parts. And Debbie said, no, you said, and I just stopped her, angrily interrupted, thinking the meanest, the most hurtful thing that I could possibly imagine to say to her. And then by God's grace, I opted for a safer thing to say. It still wasn't good, but I just held up my hand and I kind of said, we are not talking about this anymore, okay? That's it. The room fell silent. The air was acrid. Emotions were electric. What do you do when things go terribly wrong? How do you keep from losing your temper? And then how do you restore peace and joy after you have lost it? Well, in part 2, the next talk, I'm going to give you 3 things that I did that kept me from really, really blowing it. And then I'm going to share the one thing that I did, this one thing that will restore your peace and joy so fast that it will shock you. What is it? Well, make sure that you're here for part 2. Don't forget to tune in. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you click the bell so that YouTube notifies you but when this new video is posted. And again, as always, leave your questions and your comments. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, may the Lord help you to live the life that you were born to live.